Alright, it's part 5, everyone. This is the last video. This is where we finish our project up, and the turtles will finally have an awesome basking platform to use. So, what we're going to do first is, unfortunately, I lost some footage when I was putting this all together. I found I was missing a couple steps. The first one is gluing the ramp to the bottom of the plywood piece where your turtles will be able to climb the ramp and get on top of the plywood. So it's really simple what I did. So what we're going to use is this Quick Seal Plus. This is the same product we use to glue those acrylic slider pieces onto the frame of your basking platform. And what you're basically going to do, imagine this is where you have your ramp that is going to glue to the bottom of your plywood piece. What you're going to do is take that caulking gun and just spread tons of glue. Just do a nice zigzag up and down and just make sure this thing is adequately covered. It'll dry really strong. You just want to make sure you got all that coverage all the way to the seam where the bend starts, because you want to make sure that this thing is totally fastened to that platform, because the turtle's weight will be pushing down on it, and you want this thing to last. So that's the first thing we missed. Alright, so the second thing we missed, unfortunately, is wrapping the ReptiTurf around our ramp. So the ramp's installed now, imagine it glued, the ramp goes down, and what you now need to do is cover the acrylic portion that is going to be the ramp where the turtles climb up with a nice piece of ReptiTurf. So what I do is I cut the sides so that it fits and can fold around the back, if you can see. And you're going to want to fold it at the front of the ramp too, where the turtles will get on. That way you're covering all those sharp edges, and it just holds it taut when you have it glued, so that this won't just be folding when they're trying to climb it. It'll be nice and firm, and the turtle's claws can really easily climb this. I really like ReptiTurf because it can go in the water and it doesn't get disgusting, doesn't get all moldy, and it can take the element. So how we fasten this to the acrylic sheet is we are going to put dabs of glue along the edge, so the back portion of your ramp. That way, when you fold it over and the glue dries on both sides, it'll be taut like we talked about. So all I do there is just dab a bunch of pieces of glue around the outside, get this thing taut how I want it, around the front edge too, make sure there's nothing sharp, and I just take any kind of clip and I just clip it on there to make sure it's holding, and wait for that glue to dry. It takes, I think the bottle is like a couple minutes. I give it an hour, take all the clips off, and it worked really well, and we'll see it in the final product. I'm really sorry we lost that footage. The last piece of footage I lost was putting that same ReptiTurf over the top of our ramp so that the wood is covered and the turtles have a nice place to climb and then go into the nesting box. And they can also hang out on top of this platform as well. So what I do here is I custom cut that same ReptiTurf. I use different colors for the ramp and up here, but I have that little notch piece that adds a little helpful mini ramp into the nesting box. So I cut a little notch there, and then I wrapped basically just the ramp portion and the top portion. And I use the same glue, that Gorilla gel, and I just dabbed a bunch of places, including just make sure you really get the edges, because that turtles might peel it up when they're moving around. And that's it. So that's all the footage we lost. Really sorry about that. I had a big move to Colorado, so a lot of things were going on. That's why you're seeing tons of scenes. Let's get back to the footage I do have, and let's finish this basking platform, everyone. Alright, so our ramp is now complete. We are so close. I just did something, I forgot to record it, but it was to kind of help with the transition of this tile and this plywood to the walls of our basking platform. And that was just to add a filler material. I used the same thing that I used as this adhesive for this slider, which was this Quick Seal Plus, which dries clear. So I basically just put a little bead all around the corner of the basking platform. And that's just because inherently when I was building this and just using these angled fasteners, that you're going to have some gaps between the floor and the wall, and since I'm going to have sand, I'm going to have dirt in here. I don't want those gaps. I don't want that getting out into the tank or onto my floor. So I'm filling in those gaps with this sealant, and that'll hopefully get the job done. It'll dry clear. It's white right now. Helps you see it too. Just run a bead around, and that was that. Alright, so what I want to do here is glue these two wooden knobs. I painted these black, same paint. Got them from Home Depot, they're very cheap. Put on both sides of the acrylic like this, that way I have an easy slider back and forth. I'm just going to use my Gorilla Super Glue Gel and okay guys and girls, big moment here. I'm going to put the platform onto the tank for its final location. So on our final steps here, what we need to do is provide our light for our turtles, and I want to install the covers, and then we'll be pretty much all set. So what I want to do is a combined mini deep dome. That looks something like this. You have both your bulbs in there, and we can do that really easily with this new platform design, because the first cover I'm going to install, which is a wire mesh, was designed so that it fits perfectly into the top of your platform flush. And as you can see, you can't see anything sticking out. I'll give you a better view once I'm done installing all this stuff. But that mesh platform fits there, right above your basking tiles. And our lights, I will put pretty close to the middle, fit right on top of that screen. Perfect. Install my little acrylic panels here. I have 4. 2 will be kind of temporary just until I figure out what I want to do. They're going to go right adjacent to that area with the wire mesh, and then these 2 will fit as designed on the left side of your platform, fitting perfectly in there. And I'd say we're just about there. Alright, just so you can see this all at once, what I'm going to put in is an empty nesting area. And with that, of course, we have our RepuTurf top ramp. Here you have it. All that hard work pays off. You now have an awesome basking platform for your turtles. They can bask, they can get into their nesting area, they can easily access those areas, they can swim around, they have all the water in the tank that this aquarium can provide, all 75 gallons. They love it. I've seen them up there. They've done a little turtle pancake stack. Alright, taking a closer look, the first sliding panel on our right. This gives us full access to the basking area where they can bake in the sun and do their cold-blooded business. In the back you can see I have this turf-covered ramp. This allows them easy access into the next section, the next level of our basking platform, which is actually the nesting area. Excuse the cover I have right now. Turtles actually are not gravid and do not need that. So right now it's covered, otherwise they'll make an unnecessary mess that they don't need to do. They instead can enjoy the beach, do their little turtle stacks, and then we take a left turn. You can look down the ramp. One of the best parts of this new design is the ramp is no longer going over the middle of the platform, and it's now very favored on one side. This gives them lots of room to slide down and hit that water, so they slow down before they hit the side of the tank. Because before I had it way over here and they would just slide into the side of the tank, and they could care less, but it didn't seem very comfortable. So I wanted to change that for this new design. Going over to the left side panel, this is where you'll get your access for water changes or any sort of maintenance down at the bottom of the tank. You can just reach your hand right in. Have a little plant there as a decoration. Trying to think of some backgrounds that I could possibly do on the rest of this wall area. And then above the left panel here, I have some acrylic sheets just to act as a cover. A little less condensation getting out into the room is a better thing in general. So I have the same thing over. So on this side, I have these. So on this left side, above the paneling, on this left side, on the left side still here, on the top cover portion, it's made up of 2 acrylic pieces. I didn't even have to cut these or anything. They came in the correct size. What I did was glued these little lips in, as you saw in the video, and so they fit in perfectly. It was designed that way so that I had the least amount of work to do in order for that to fit. And then I have this cheap LED strip light I got off of Amazon. It's for fish tanks, but Amazon's a great place to get cheaper versions of great products. And then same idea over on this right side. I have acrylic pieces. I might replace this with something a little more beautiful, but right now they fit well enough. They sit longwise, flush up to the wire mesh. This wire mesh actually fit on another tank that I had, and I could integrate this perfectly into the design without much hassle at all. It's like a perfect fit. If you look on both sides, there's basically no gap there, and it's perfect to set these lights on. Before I had the light hanging, but that left a lot of area where the turtles could actually climb out, and it did happen once. Surprisingly, I think one of my turtles, Moses, was gravid, and he just climbed out of the tank and fell. He was alright, but it required a major redesign and a lot of modification while I had my old one, and that was a little scary. So this prevents all of that from happening. It's all walled off, it's all covered, and the turtles cannot possibly escape, and it is just a much more refined design that I'm quite happy with. Take a look out back here, you'll see I have that recessed area where you can fit the filter and the tubing for aeration and the wire for the heater. And we'll take another look on the side here. So again, we got that overlap that we designed into this. Comes right up to the wall at the distance I like from the wall, and it basically just extends that basking platform without extending the actual footprint of this tank a single inch. So I really like this, and I'm sure there's lots of modifications that could make this better. That's up to you, DIY turtle basking platform builders. You can do whatever you want to do. This is my basking platform. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's helpful. I hope it gives you ideas. I hope it was informative. And leave any questions in the comments. Like it, subscribe it, I don't care. Just give me some praise. It took a lot of effort to put this together, and I really hope that you guys like it. Again, good luck. Happy turtle keeping. See ya.